Greetings, everyone. I'm excited to welcome Nitesh Trikha, CEO at Neeve. Nitish, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks, Ben. Great to be here.
Hey, yeah, great to have you here. Let's dive right in. Tell us a little bit about your background.
You're absolutely. Being in the technology since '96 when I graduated from one of the colleges in India, did my computer engineering there, started to work on when Java was getting born. So, working on JDK 102 as a software programmer, trying to get, product built for call centers and getting the call center optimization done. And as the life will take me, I went right from, layer 7 of the stack to layer 1 and 2 and started right into, the VHDL programming. With Duet Technology, started to work on creating programs there. Came to States in 98, spent most of my time in Cisco, where my last role was CTO, where I led the, industry solutions group software platform team, creating glue software that took our Cisco products from core business units, which is routing switching, security, video collaboration, created that, software glue that helped our customers adopt the network in the industry in a much better way. Did that across sports and entertainment, healthcare, smart cities, and smart buildings. Then joined the organization that was looking to pivot from mobile backend as a service to, enterprise space, which was July Systems. Worked there to create a pivot strategy of location-based proximity platform that now Cisco has acquired. It's Cisco Spaces. And then joined View to help them transition from being just a smart windows company to a smart buildings company. And that's where the journey of Neve started. So that's about me.
Yeah, so yeah, obviously a long history in tech since '96. Love it. So yeah, let's talk about your current project, Neve. So tell us what products and or services Neve offers.
Absolutely. We're a cloud platform as a service, company that offers an edge and cloud platform that cyber secures the building's operations technology, allows for secure remote access to the systems within the buildings, and creates a secure tunnel for those building systems data to the cloud where business applications around sustainability, operational efficiency, and usage, plus also, customer experiences can be delivered. And more importantly, we allow an edge infrastructure to run those cloud native workloads on the edge in the building.
And just to make sure I understand, so you said, like securing buildings, so platform as a service. So is that a platform as a service that focuses on that, or that's the product that you've developed that is built like building security focused?
That's correct. So in the building security, it's about securing the access to the building systems. So like your BMS systems, the HVAC, the building access, the badge reader systems, the physical security, which is the camera systems, as well as the building operation systems like the elevator systems and escalator systems, smart lights, on and on. So think of it as, securing the access to those systems.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's probably more systems than you realize. I'm sure for me, like thinking about a building and everything that's going on there, software, hardware. So you're helping keep all of that secure. And yeah, so really interesting. I haven't really thought about it. I mean, of course, I've had those badge readers and swipe it, and that's about as far as I think about it. So, like with this, like tell us like who you like. Is it the owners of these buildings? Like who are you reaching out to sell your product?
So it's the owners and the operators, like the facilities, management organizations that operate these buildings, as well as an entire ecosystem of startups that are disrupting this landscape and bringing digital transformation to this, ecosystem, along with system integrators, the resellers and the distributors of technologies into the buildings. But predominantly the buyers are, the owners, the occupiers, which is the enterprises and their workplace, resources team, as well as then the facilities, operators that operate these buildings.
Interesting. And we always hear about cybersecurity attacks and social security numbers being stolen, all that stuff. But what doesn't get, put out there, and I don't know how often this happens, but is it pretty common that like large buildings or people try to hack the infrastructure of the building?
It never used to be the case, a couple of years back, but in the recent, macroeconomic events, critical infrastructure, vulnerabilities have been exposed. I think all of us are now seeing it. And, built spaces are a critical infrastructure and a backbone of GDP. And hence, the exposure of these in the level of interest with, the folks who look for these vulnerabilities have gone up. And hence we have seen increased, amount of, I would say, cyber attacks and even ransomware incidents across the board globally.
Interesting. And not, and thinking about this, not say just the physical building, but what about, I mean, center, server centers or server farms, like I'm guessing like those are very secured. So would those be kind of customers as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we started off with the commercial real estate, as I said, the journey for Neve started within View. View, as a smart technology organization was focused on transforming built environments by converting, windows to become smart windows. And as part of that infrastructure is where this started. So our focus was in commercial real estate and still is, but those landlords, they also own, other adjacent type of infrastructure, which is data centers, warehouses, and factories. So it applies there. And yeah, whether we call them competitors or, partners of this journey, we have other organizations that are focused on that area, and we are now expanding in those too.
Okay. Yeah. So these adjacent facilities, properties, and then are you focused, US focused, or is this global customer base?
Yeah. It's global customer base. We have global deployments across 650 buildings globally and growing.
Okay. Yeah. Really. Yeah. That's it's fascinating. So let's talk some stats and figures here. So what year did you found Eve?
Yeah. So, I just spun this out as a standalone entity, in end of September 2024. So pretty recent with the recent fundraise. But the journey for Neve started truly 7 years back within, View. And as part of that journey, I've done 2 acquisitions, which have been there before. So the platform is very matured with, very loyal. I don't call them customers anymore. Partner ecosystem where they give us feedback on, what they need, why they need it, come to us, we go ahead and deliver it for them.
Interesting. So was this being incubated, and you mentioned, so at View, was this like being incubated within View or a product there and then just there, hey, we don't see a fit for it within our product line and we'll spin it out?
Yeah, absolutely. Think of it as, when I joined View back in April of 2017, at that time, again, the vision and the mission was to, create a smart building infrastructure that always works. That was the goal. And, as part of that, one of the key things as View was growing, we were going and doing bigger building installations for which a net new architecture of network. And, since we were now going into a big tech companies who were going to install and who were going to install our, product in their buildings, we had to put a new infrastructure for cybersecurity, the buildings, the network that we're putting in. And as I was building that, the landlords who came to, see what we are doing told me that if what you're doing for our new buildings, we need it for our existing buildings. And I'm like, why? Why do you need it? They're like, we actually want to know what's going on in our buildings. Okay, why can't you do it today? Because it's not secure. I had no knowledge about these systems before I came in. As you can see, I'm coming from the IT world. Then I, learned about these operations technologies. Like you said, Ben, I was like, okay, it always works. You come in, you badge in, the, lights are working, the air conditioning is okay. Okay, sometimes it's too hot or cold. Everything works. But what goes behind that to make it work like this? I was, just absolutely surprised to see the depth and also the gaps. And, those gaps then turned into opportunities where, then understanding from customers, what are the challenges they have? And I've always, as a product guy, I've felt that you got to partner with, key customers as your product advisors to start with when you're starting something new. If only one person says it's a problem, that could be limited to that organization in their process, tools, or people, or all three, but they can solve it with a custom implementation of a solution. But if 3 to 5 of them come back to you with the same problem, that tells you it's, industrial gap.
Mm-hmm.
Once you find that, then you go hard at it to solving it, not just by technology, but understanding the real world operations of how they use it and how would they benefit from it. So that's how this journey started. And we started building one element at a time. And, in the 7 years matured it to a point where it has now become a critical, infrastructure for their digital operations.
Oh, I love it. I mean, definitely seems critical to the facility management. And then do you guys have a headquarters location or are you remote?
Yeah. Well, we are in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. And
yeah.
what's your current team size?
Yeah. Look, I mean, the total team size, it's a global team based out of India here, Australia, and UK. We don't publicly disclose the numbers, but, it's a dedicated team that has been at it, I would say, for the last 9+ years. And
Okay.
that is still.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm guessing you're not going to disclose any revenue ranges, but can you give us any sense of scale, for Neve right now?
Sure, absolutely. So I would say, yes, of course, I can publicly disclose the revenue numbers, but in the journey of SaaS companies, and we are at it, Ben, as well, everybody looks for that magical first milestone, which is the 2-digit MARR. We are in that zip code today,
Okay.
looking to then, double this with some, very strategic partnerships and pipeline closure that we expect to see over the next 12 months. So we are a mature Series A, kind
Mhm.
of like ready for Series B or a growth, if you will, as we then take this business forward.
Okay. All right. Appreciate that insight. That's at scale. And so tell us, so we know buildings, facilities, data centers out there. So tell us a little about your go-to-market motion. Like, how are you finding your prospects in these locations?
In the initial journey, as I said, it started truly with the partnership,
Mhm.
where, existing set of REITs, working with them, truly understanding the gap in the industry and building it. So it was direct to customer. That's the only way I have done products always. You got to live the life of a customer, truly see the gap, and take those pain points, find a technology that helps them to, do their jobs better. So, started with that. And that's how we did throughout the last 7 years. But over the last year plus, once we understood, and as I say, we got graduated from high school to now going to college because we understood this industry, we understood how this industry works. We pivoted our sales and go to market to now be channel and partner driven. In that, we then understood the ecosystem. Yes, these are the end landlords, buyers, but then they have these facility operations organizations. These organizations have, very skilled workforce, but then they also are buyers of technology that helps them to deliver those services better. So we are partnering with them and, getting to give them this technology that they can then serve as part of their service contracts with the customers. Check, done. Second, we then understood there is, system integration required, very similar to the enterprise world and enterprise applications and how to, bring that integrations. There is an entire world and ecosystem of system integrators, resellers, and distributors. We are now working with them and, enabling them to deliver this. And the third part here is, as we are taking this industry from being all on the edge to take the very first steps towards cloud, we are then working with, very well-known industrial, Fortune 100 companies to then embed our technologies in their product offerings and then deliver it to their customers and also bring the entire industry towards that motion. So from initial days of direct to customer, we are now focused through channels and partners, but now, marketing and awareness is still to the consumers, but our transactions are through this ecosystem to make it easier for us to scale and then, get to the growth numbers or targets that we have in front of us.
Yeah, really interesting. Yeah, just thinking all the infrastructure within a building. So, partnering with that ecosystem versus walking up the building, knocking on the door. So, appreciate that insight. And so, let's switch over to the fundraising side. How much capital have you raised to date?
Yeah, as part of the launch that happened in September, 15 million from Cantor Fitzgerald and RXL.
Okay, 15 million. I think that was characterized as a Series A.
I would say you can correct it as around Series A. Yes,
Yeah.
15, 1.5.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So 15 million. And tell us what, so a recent fundraise. So what led to that? Were there any triggers or milestones that you reached that said we're ready to raise a decent amount of money?
So in that, again, as part of the journey curated within View, while, we as an organization were going through, some bigger recapitalization, this business, never lost a customer. That's one thing, Ben, I'm very proud of the team that they did. We never lost a customer. If anything, we actually grew the wallet share with each customer. Why? Because we became part of their critical infrastructure. And why? Because I say that in critical infrastructure, plumbing, once done well, can, unlock a lot of value. And the true sense of the quality of plumbing comes from how many times have you called the plumber? If you have never called the plumbing works. And that's the goal and the mantra that, I have for the team. Neve, the word means foundation. The foundation that we deliver has to be rock solid. That means it always works. And that's what, led to the growth of the product. Not only with existing customers, they became, kind of like my advocates, where they were going after the peers in their industry and saying, you need to work with this team and this technology. This is what they'll do. It was that growth and the maturity of that growth backed by the numbers of ARR and the future. All of those then gave the confidence to, both Cantor and RXR to go ahead and then give us the funding for our future growth.
Okay. Yeah. Appreciate that insight. And with that kind of spin out and the timing of the fundraising, was it something where out on your own now needing more capital or cash in the bank or unrelated to that spin out?
Now, there was related because that's not coming and becoming on our own. As I said, we just graduated. Kind of like think of all of us going to college, right? So, we just graduated and now we need to be on our own. So, yes, we do need the capital to now invest in the growth. More importantly, now, build all the muscles, which so far we were getting from the, core enterprise around the SG&A plus operations and others that we need to now stand up and then, support our growth on going forward basis. More importantly, as a standalone organization, as we are signing up these, customers through our partners, we also do need all sorts of, I would say certifications and qualifications to be able to transact. All of that requires this, operating capital to be with us to support that.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. And for other founders who are maybe considering a decent raise, say 10 to 20 million in cash, any lessons learned in that process that you'd like to pass on?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, a strong trust with your existing customer base is the first thing you need to have. Without that, there's nothing, that'll go. Then the trust with the investors by being transparent on not only the opportunity, but also the challenges. And why is it that you want their partnership in this growth? That, alignment of mindset is very, very critical as you look for, a set of, I call them, partners who are coming in this journey as you're taking on the hard challenges. All of us as founders take on hard challenges. So we are anyway, I call ourselves crazy enough to be there because, the normal guys are going to be saying, why are you doing this? It's just so hard. Why just go with it? But that's just founders. We'll just go with that. But then go select the right partners who are there for you when you need them. And that comes through transparency, openness, and that trust.
Okay. Yeah. Appreciate that insight. And yeah, transparency really important, like you said, not just only opportunities, but just challenges that are coming up. So, and, and Nitish, at this stage of your business, do you have a favorite number or metric that you're focused on to guide the business?
Yeah. As a product guy, I've always looked at only one number, and that is the voice of the user, which means, how is the user feeling about the product or the service that we delivered? Are they happy with it or not? That then leads to NPS, that then leads into product insights, that leads into roadmap, that leads into, customer retention, revenue, all of that. But if I just pull it back, it's just one thing. It's the voice of the user, not the customer, a user. What is working, what's not working. And an indicator of that comes obviously through a lot of these insight tools that we build in the technology. But more importantly, the number of support cases and the kind of support cases which are there. That to me is the true measure of, I call it the plumbing. Remember I said, why are they calling the plumber? They should not be calling it. It should always work. What's the reason for it? Then go uncover, was it just the complexity? Was it the lack of intuitiveness? And or a combination of both that resulted into it, then go solve it. And then keep working on it. That's the only number that I look at.
Yeah, I love that. I love the correlation, right? Good plumbing, probably support cases, will be correlated to that. So love that insight. So Nitesh, as we wrap up here, what's coming up next for Neeve?
Yeah. Look, I think it's the geographical expansion for sure, going into each of these geographies and then, be there to serve our partners and customers with our product and services. Second, product expansion. As I've said, I've always built products in partnership with the industry. As now we have pivoted our go-to-market motion with the partners, they are giving us feedback on the different versions of products and pricing that they would want to see to serve their customers better. So we will launch those. And then obviously the wealth of knowledge that we have had over the last 7+ years, now putting that into system by not having these large language models, but very specific industrial driven small language models that help us with A, deployment, B, commissioning, and C, operations, and even some accelerated troubleshooting of these systems as we get to the growth is what's on the horizon. And I'm truly excited to see, how the industry, our partners give us feedback to iterate and, enhance that.
Yeah, definitely exciting with the expansion and not only geographical, but also product. So appreciate that insight. So Nitesh, really appreciate your time today. If listeners would like to learn more about Neve, where should we send them online?
Yeah. So our website, which is neeve.ai. So neeve.ai. That's the best.
All right. Well, perfect. So check out Neve, neeve.ai to learn more. Nitesh, really appreciate your time and sharing your journey today.
Thanks a lot, Ben.